good, folks. Welcome to Tools of Fortune. It's Thursday, August 14th, and we are reading your questions. Tarot and Oracle. Yes, no's. The question I'm starting out with is, how do I have balance in an emotional storm? How do I get balance? How do I balance myself out? People, all of us, have this problem. All of us. Have this problem. So the first card to pop out is the Hierophant. I see that the stream is clear. How? We'll just be getting 4 cards. How do we have balance in an emotional storm? The number that I pre-drew was 929, page 929. The message on page 929 is, how open my ears so that I may hear. And so, an emotional storm, how to get balance. Well, the reason you're out of balance is we have, to regain balance, you have to have justice and fair decision-making practices. You have to come at your situation from a place of truth and honesty. When you're in that storm, you can't see. You can't see that you are biased. You can't see that you are lying to yourself. You can't see any false equivalencies. You can't see anything other than that storm of emotions blowing through your head. And your brain gets filled up by silly ideas, by confusion, by just stupid stuff. And so you gotta turn things around. You gotta turn things around. Take a pause. Take a pause and see that there are new ways of seeing, new ways of thinking, and you need to cut through that stupidity, that naivete, when you are blown about by the storms of emotion. You have to cut through that with a new idea. And then you need to let the wheel of fortune click into a new reality. Click, click, click. The cycle changes, and you can rebalance that. So in that sense, you may be needing, in this emotional storm, you need to accept what is happening to you in that moment. Try to understand why you're raging inside. Take a look at your rage and put it outside of you. This is you. You need to be here, and outside of you is this storm raging around you. You can't let that storm in here. You have to calm down, breathe in and out, take a break while that storm rages around outside of you, and to regain control, be like the Pope. Follow the rules of the moment, which is when you are in an emotional storm, structure. You need some structure. Oh, KCMR, I am coming on early today. I was gone yesterday. I took a trip to the ocean yesterday. Then the day before, I didn't want to go out late when I had to get up early, so I took a couple days off here. Anyways, that's what we got. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. But other people may not be doing so fine. So I'm going to take a look at the energy of the spread here. It's got a lot of major cards. 5 plus 10 plus 11 plus 11. Mostly, so the energy of it. So 2, 2, 1, 2, 4, 5, 10. So how do you regain your balance? It is by shifting into a new reality. But during that storm, what the cards are telling you is that new reality is blocked. It's blocked. That new reality is blocked from opening up. That's what these numbers tell me. Maria, welcome. I apologize that my 5G wasn't working very well down at the coast, but then again, it never does. I did take some video on my, and I have that, and I'm going to edit that video and maybe release it tonight, so you can kind of see Boiler Bay from a clear perspective, the little doggy and everything else. And so this is the opening question. Does anybody have a question they'd like to ask? And what day was today? Today's the 14th, right? 8 1 4 25. Okay. Okay, so you want to know if your ex has moved on, or do they still have feeling for you? Well, they probably still have feelings for you, because people, even though when people move on, it doesn't mean that the feelings that they had for you have gone away. KCMR, that's just as a FYI, that's kind of true, unless of course a lot of damage has been done. But even then, I suppose, my grandmother and her husband, they got divorced, and they never stopped loving each other. In fact, is that when my I'll ask that question. When my grandfather, when he went to go see his ex-wife, I think we know that they hooked up and, had did the deed and all that. They just split. So people, they still do have feelings for one another. That tends to happen, but they end up getting feelings for other people too. So let's go with your questions. Anna first has my ex moved on. Moved on. Does my ex still have feelings for me? For me? And the last question is, will we ever talk again? Will my ex unblock me and unblock me? Well, I can tell you that in the heartbreak situation that I had in my 20s, I never talked to that person again. I still have feelings for her. But that was like 20, 30 years ago. Will my ex unblock me? And will we have a conversation again? Will he talk to me? So you're in a blocked state. Okay. We are going to clear the air. KCMR has a question, Mary. KCMR wants to know about an ex-lover. Tell us the truth about KCMR's ex-love situation. So the first question is has KCMR's ex moved on? I will try that delight. We will see if we can get to that. I will do KCMR's question first. Has KCMR's ex moved on to another soul? Three card, yes, no. Okay, KCMR, I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. If you can tell me when to stop shuffling. There we go. Have they moved on? The answer to that question is no. Your ex has not moved on yet. Your ex is in a state of emotional recovery. He has to rebuild his foundation. He does not feel as though he is in a state of mind in order to move on. So he's still stuck in that place. So he's still stuck in this energy of the relationship that went bad. So we're looking at 4, 7, 8. So in a sense, you're looking at he has not yet manifested. He has not yet manifested in his life emotional recovery. So it's slowly recovering, asking for forgiveness, trying to working through that woundedness. And in this state of being, your ex does not feel that they can adequately start a new cycle or shift into a new reality. But maybe they are close to doing that. Okay, so to the question, does your ex still have feelings for you? They probably do, but let's just ask. So again, I'm going to ask you to tell me when to stop shuffling. Does KCMR's ex still have feelings? Does KCMR's ex still have feelings? Does the ex still have feelings for KCMR? Looks like it's almost done here. Okay. All right. So the answer to that question is no. It's a real hard no. The person does not have feelings for you anymore. And so that is probably why they will not. They'll probably, but will they ever unblock you? That's a different story. That may happen in the future. So we're looking at 1, 10, 15, 6. And so we're looking at 6 in a reverse sense. There's no love for you. Your ex does not love you anymore. And that's the general feeling here. So if you want to know what the tarot energies are in your ex's love, or the lack of love, is that they are in a state of being emotionally drained. And they're looking to fulfill something physical within themselves is lacking. They're empty, emotionally drained, or they're looking to fill things, but at the same time they're in a place where they are breaking the rules, trying to loosen up the rules of their life. But do they have feelings for you? They're in a totally different place. So that's what the cards say today. And so we're going to ask the third question is, will your ex unblock you? Will your ex unblock you? And so that's a 3-card yes, no, and you just tell me when to stop shuffling. Will they unblock you someday? Will your ex unblock you? Well, the cards that have come out are here and there. They may. This is a soft yes on the unblocking, but the death card has popped up, and so they're in a state where they feel dead. You feel dead to him, but they're ready to begin something new. They're regaining strength, but at the same time, he still needs rest. He needs to rest away, and is not getting good rest, and is not really recovering. So it's there is a yes that eventually your ex may unblock you, but it will be in a total different sort of being, so that talking to you, it may not be what you want. It may be that when he does unblock you, that you will be more like strangers to them. And so their outcome here is that it's kind of like this thief getting caught, but being in a state where there are no lies between you and him. So it'll be in a place of more honesty when it is, but it may be and it may also just be that this next place that they are with you will be like a death has happened, and when it moves on, it's a new iteration, and so in a sense that when he does ever talk to you again, it'll be like a no bullshit thing. And so it may not be a wonderful conversation. It may not be the great conversation. It may be like, you're just talking to somebody that they're kind of short with you, and just not bullshitting you about what's going on. I hope that helps. But we can look at the energy of this one as well. And you're looking at 4, 8, that's 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. 16 plus 7. 16, let's see, 16 and 7. So 7 and 7. So you want to look at angel number 7, 7 here. And so you're looking at a sense of, this is a split 7, and of withdrawn, but this withdrawnness is going to be an absence. So when they finally does talk to you, it'll be in a sense of like an absence from you. You won't have any feelings. There won't be any feelings there. That's kind of what I'm getting. What I'm getting from this, from the numbers of this, is that it'll be a conversation completely devoid of feeling, or there'll probably be a little nostalgia there, but it's just gonna be. That's just what I'm saying. Anyways. And yeah. Okay, let's clear the air. Go on to True Light is next. You're welcome. Thank you for letting me read for you. Now, before I do this, I need to. I don't know if the person is listening in, but maybe they will listen in. I need to wish somebody a happy birthday. And so I'm going to wish Lexi Milner a happy birthday. She turned 61 years of age. Her channel has exploded this year. She does mostly uplifting content for people who need to hear it and hang out. So I'm going to sing her happy birthday, and then I'm going to get on to your question, the light. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lexi. Happy birthday to you. Okay, I'm going to get back to here. Let's just clear the air one more time so I can focus my mind down on true light. All right, true light. True light has a question. Okay. True light. Why is this pixelated? This stream should not be pixelated. When I'm plugged into the Ethernet, that should not be. I need to check my internet connection here if it'll let me do it. That does not make any sense. It's the energy. I am plugged into Ethernet. It should not be doing this. Okay, I guess then we're like on a listening basis here. True light, let's see, what is your question? Okay, so you're asking, has my wife had an affair? And if I remember right, you are separated? Okay, we'll do a 3-card kind of and assess the situation here. Man, to me, I find it really disappointing when everything is in that when the stream isn't clear like that. It's so pixelated. Why is it pixelated like that? I just don't get it. It's really pixelated. I'm gonna see if I unplug this cord, if it'll do. And now I'm on Wi-Fi. It is still pretty pixelated. Okay, let's go plug it back in. No, it doesn't make any difference. Well, that really bothers me. All right. Now I need to bring my mind. I need to bring my mind to you, True Light, because I'm distracted by my internet service. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for true light now and all throughout his journey. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed is the fruit of your womb, true light. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for true light now and all throughout his journey. So True Light has a question. All right. It's a 3-card. I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. So True Light, tell me when to stop shuffling, and then I will. Okay. So the cards say no. The cards say she has not had an affair. The place that she's in, the state of mind that she's in, is in a place of motherly energy, and she is seating herself in her feminine energy into the ground. And so in that, she is being very absorbed. She's self-absorbed in herself. She's withdrawing into herself. And she's not thinking about other men. And she feels, in her state of mind, she just feels like she's just overwhelmed by the responsibility of living. Just overwhelmed by the responsibility of living. And that's kind of where she is at. So she's not in a place of where she is indulging her primal emotions. She's not indulging her sexual energies. She's indulging her earthly sense. Maybe, and let's just see what is going on. So we're looking at 3, 4, 10, 7, 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. And so she's not in a place of trying to manifest anything other than where she is at. She's just sort of stuck in place. Now we might take a a little place of where she's at, and the Lover's card has shown up here, but in a in its reverse form. So the outcome of this is not one of any new love. So the outcome is of this question is that it's not being in a place of, it's not love. It's in a complete place of imbalance. That's where she's at. She's in her love. Um, she's out of balance. So that's what we have here. In a sense, she's out of balance, and that's kind of what I'm getting here. And I'm sorry, Mama Sushi, that the internet has collapsed. So maybe we want to ask. So does that help you any, True Light? Okay. She's separated. If she will, maybe she comes back. But maybe did I recommend for you to go to couples counseling? Because if this is a relationship that you want to repair, you may need to consider couples counseling. And so, what you can do is to initiate that is that you can start going on your own if you can afford it, and then invite her to come along, and then invite her to come, because I think that the way, because I used to work at a mental health agency a long time ago, and wasn't a therapist. I was the front person booking all the appointments, and I was the person you reached when you called the place on the phone. And so there was a little bit of knowing how they do couples counseling, and is that they talk to one party, they talk to the other party, and then they talk to you together. So there's a sense of they need to get your story, they get her story, but they want to, but they need to get you into a place where you can talk to each other without fear. And so that's in a way of how do you get back into balance? Well, that's how you can get back into balance, is to come into a place where you are talking to each other in a very neutral environment. And so one of the things also is like when you think of like let's say a person has some issues with addiction issues, and one person goes to let's say they go to Al-Anon, or they go to they're part of the system, and sometimes it works where when one individual goes and starts getting better, that the other person may think that they need to get better too. So does that make any sense? Of course, that's just a long time ago, when I did work in that situation, and that I did a bunch of studying about that. Or for the years that I listened to Loveline. Okay, that's so that would be, be something. And but when you're sitting here in the dark, when you're sitting in the dark and you're just wondering, with that absence of information, it is so difficult to get out of that storm. So the question that I started answering is, how do you balance your emotions in a storm? Well, it requires a little bit of objectivity to get out of yourself. And sometimes that objectivity comes by having somebody to talk to. All right, that's all I got for you. So it looks better now? Let's see, who was next? Raquel, are you still here? Did you have a question? If you're still there, Raquel, I will do your question next. All right, I will clear the air, and you state your question, and while I am clearing the air here, and this is mainly for me to refocus my mind. For Raquel. You're welcome, True Light. Number 3. Let's see what the question is. Do you have a specific question, Raquel, or is this a general question? General or specific? Okay. Messages from angels. What the Spirit wants you to know. All right. What does Spirit want Raquel to know? What are her guardian angels? What are they telling her? What are her angels telling Raquel? Okay. All right. Let's start first. I'm going to do some bibliomancy on this. I'm going to get you a number and a page number, and we will see what message I can find there. Oh, it jumped its tracks. Let's come back here. I don't want it to jump the tracks. 15 is the first number. Means if it's high up in the 15s, it goes right into a hymn. It goes right into the hymnal part. Oh, that jumps. It wants to jump the tracks here. 5, 1, 5, 5. 1, 5, 5, 7. So if we were looking at 1557 as an angel number, that it says that there are positive, it says that there is something new on the horizon. New on the horizon. Maybe a new love, or a new relationship, not necessarily a love relationship, but that maybe that someone new may be coming into your life. So we look at 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18. 9. So in a sense that you're looking at the manifestation of something new. Okay. So in a sense, I can see that number 18, 9, it's the manifestation of something new. That's just from the number itself. Manifestation of something new. But let's go take a look at page 1557. Does it go up to 1557? It goes right into the index. $15, $57. Prayers. The treasury of... Oh, okay. So looking at the 5 glorious mysteries. So the things that we're looking at: ascension, resurrection, the 5 glorious mysteries, the virtue of your faith, hope, devotion to Mary, the love of God, and eternal happiness. That resurrection thing, that sense of something, the manifestation of something new on the horizons. The spirits are with you. A new spirit of hope coming. You may need to spend some time in devotion to your divine feminine spirit. There's a lot of in here in asking for you to connect to your the divine feminine spirit in your life. So, but there's also the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But you just spend a little bit more time connecting to the divine feminine, and do not forget about the divine masculine as well. and that you need to spend time. When I think of faith, we're not thinking of faith like we're not thinking about faith like a religious path or something like that. We're thinking of it in terms of like this is that deep core belief that is needed in order to make it through the day. And so that's how we're using that word here. And that there are three are needed. The page actually talked about all three of those things of faith, hope, and love. Hope is that spirit that helps you to combat the despair in your life. Because you can't let despair get the better of you. And we're thinking in terms, I'm not thinking in terms of like a psychological state, but it could be. If it is a psychological state in that you are experiencing some despair, then maybe you do need to, seek some help for that. So, for instance, I had in my 20s, I went through a major depressive episode that lasted a decade, maybe a little bit more than a decade of a major depressive episode. I did see counseling for it. I did take I did take drugs for it, but eventually I got through it. And now when I go into like depressive episodes and so forth, they rarely last more than a few days. And so why can't you hear them? Why can't, well, then that means that you need to spend time in the quiet listening. And I had a situation, Raquel, where after a major heartbreak, that everything went silent for years. They just went silent. And eventually, the silence was so deafening that I have not been able to hear spirit that I took a job. I took a job in a casino. I took a job in a casino, and instead of taking, listening to spirit or anything like that, I just worked. I drank. I gambled. And I did that for a long time. And all I did was work. And I didn't drink that much, but I drank a lot more than what, but I also worked in alcohol service too. I worked as a bartender. But nevertheless, sometimes those silences and how those silences, how that silence was broken, and it was just broken a couple years ago too, Michael, is like in 2020, 2021, God sent another person that crossed my path. I started seeing angel numbers. I started seeing angel numbers all the time. But it was good. In that time period, there was also a major heartbreak that occurred. That major heartbreak was I lost my father suddenly in a car accident. That was a major heartbreak. I also, during that time period, I also quit using tobacco. That also was hard because I loved tobacco. I love tobacco a lot. There are these things that we can get through. But God sent this person. Now, this person was flashed in and out of my life like a meteor. Now, of course, I obsessed over this person because I have a tendency to do that. I like, she was younger, and I know that, I as an older person, but this was a person. She was traveling from Ireland, and she was here for about a year. But there was a closeness that I had to this person that was very unusual. And that closeness, but this person was not somebody this new person for me that came into my life, it was not a romantic thing. It was this, but I wanted it to be that way, but that was not possible because it was like a 20-year age difference. 20, I mean, what am I thinking? 20 years. Why would, somebody who's like half your age, but because me being a male, I went there. But when I started to obsess on that, God or the angels said no, except that was not the purpose of that meeting. That purpose of that meeting was to get you to start listening again. So that that sense of messages from your angels, if you need faith, you need hope, and you need love. That's what that page said. We're talking about faith, hope, and love. You need to figure out what this faith means to you. And like I said, we're not talking about, a lot of times when the Bible talks about faith, they're not talking about a specific religion. It's not talking about that. It's talking about something else. And so sometimes that faith part is you have to make the effort. The effort to hear is like, how do you open your ears to okay. So yours was in 2020. Your heartbreak. Then you buzzed up your yeah. And so that's how I got out of that place, that funk. It was through angel numbers. Seeing angel, and I still see angel numbers everywhere. So if when I do schedule these, when I schedule these readings, sometimes when I schedule them on angel numbers or on like repeat numbers, because it's such a giving. I may not start on time, but I think that way. So love, what does that mean? Is it love like romantic love? We're not talking about romantic love here. You're talking about and how do you do love? Well, love is service. Service. Love is serving other people. Love is paying attention to the needs of others, but is also paying attention to your own needs. So it's love of self. So it's the commandment is to love God, and your neighbor as yourself. Love God, neighbor, NEIGHBOR, and self. It's sort of a trinity of this. Love, God, neighbor, and self. Now, it's hard to love God when you don't love yourself. It's hard to love yourself when you don't love your neighbor. And who is your neighbor? Your neighbor is anybody who's not you. That's who your neighbor is. And what does it mean you have to like that person? Not necessarily. The emotion of romantic love and all that doesn't necessarily come in to that, but what scripture teaches on love is about service and giving of yourself. Like let's say you take the Mary and Martha story, where one Mary is sitting at the feet of a spiritual teacher, while the other one is busying around cleaning house and doing stuff, and they are equally are practicing love. They are in service of a neighbor. One sometimes is basking in the glory of another individual. Other times it's just doing small things. Like with the whole Boy Scout thing of doing good deeds. That's going through this service. Service. I don't have this spelled right. It's service. And that I'm not talking about any, like I've said, I want to just really reiterate that I'm not talking about specific religions at all, and I'm not, but I am talking out of a religious tradition. I am, because I came out of the Christian religious tradition. I don't, but that's just me. I'm not really, but when we talk about that faith, that's love. That with faith, that is a sense of just a sort of a deep committed belief, and that is a belief. There's faith, and it's sort of a deep belief, but it doesn't necessarily does it mean that it is a specific religion. No, none of these things are pertaining to any particular religious path, and that's the thing that you have to really really think about. That's what's the important thing, is that none of these, when this ascended master talked about this is what you need to do, he was not talking about, they were not talking about specific religious paths. Now, if a mythological path makes sense to you, fine, go for it. Whatever one makes sense to you, that's the one. That's where you belong. Maybe you get some community with others, but it doesn't. But that particular path, you know, I don't know. I would warn against getting involved any into fundamentalism. I think I would not engage in fundamentalism at all, because it'll lead you to a place to where you are closed off from all of this stuff. Anyways, and you had a major heartbreak and then buzzed up and all that love energy. Yeah. Yeah, that, and so those major heartbreaks. The thing is that this is something I had read about, an article about with heartbreaks, and which is kind of true. It takes like 4 to 7 years to really recover from a heartbreak, whether it be a death or a breakup or something like that. And then, so like, if a person's in a long-standing marriage relationship, that heartbreak sometimes happens long before that heartbreak can happen. Heartbreak can happen here. This is the union, whether it be like a civil union, marriage, or whatever, when you first meet. And this means maybe you're continuing to be with this person, and maybe this is like a divorce, a splitting ways, a split, or it could be that you stay with this person until they pass on. You stay with them for 40, 50 years, but that heartbreak, that can happen. That can happen in that relationship. And you can be in this relationship for years in a broken-hearted in a place of heartbreak. And then when that relationship ends, because you have ever wondered why, let's say, uh, sometimes why a person is married for 10, 20 years, then there's a divorce, and immediately there's a remarriage that happens right afterwards. Well, it's because a lot of times before even, let's say, the ink is dry on the paper, that remarriage happens. Well, that's because that heartbreak happened in the distant past, and that person has recovered from that heartbreak, even though they were still with that person. And that's one of the reasons why you might take like 7, 8, 10, 20 years to recover. But that's why, at least that's just my assessment of this. That's how I have processed this. That's why. But granted, no, if when people are elderly, that's a different story, because a lot of times you just don't know how much time is left, and so that's a different story. But I'm just talking about that faith, hope, and love. And so what Spirit is telling you is you need to really start working on these things of faith, hope, and love. And let's say it's service. You want to go do a volunteer job. If you have the time, if you're not like working to like 50 hours a week just to get by, working 100, if you're working 100 hours a week, or you're working, a job and a half to get by, you don't have time to go volunteer yourself. And the fact is, you're going to you're in a place, if you're like working 50, 60, 70 hours a week, you may be in a place where even your own emotional recovery is going to be hard because you're tired all the time. And that's an unfortunate place of our civilization where we are, is that sometimes it is hard to 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 recover if you're just damn tired all the time. And so how do you get out of that storm? How do you get out of that storm so you can come into a place where you can love your neighbor, where you can love yourself? And through doing these things, you do this. You do the third thing, you love God. That's how you love God. It's an action-based system. Self, neighbor, and by extension, you end up loving God. That's how I understand it. I don't know if you're still there and if that makes any sense to you. Oh, it looks like I my oh, and look at that. My oh, wow. Yeah. No groups, okay. All right. It looks like my chat has stuck a ways back. Hmm. So we have Glenn popped in. No, yeah, Mama Sushi, I'll give you a reading, because I was thinking about you, actually. I was thinking about you last night. Um, so general reading for Glenn and for Maria and for Mama Sushi. Okay. All right. I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I hope that helps. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it doesn't help at all. But one of the things you could do, Raquel, is to connect up to animals. Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? Do you live in a situation where you can live with animals? Because animals can teach us how to love. Animals can teach us how to have faith. I suggest you start there if you can. You feed that animal, you give the animal attention, and you watch them. A lot of times that's how we can really regain our faith in ourselves, in our world, is through dogs and cats. Little dogs, little cats, maybe rabbits, or whatever it is that you like. Glenn, I'm having internet issues today. All right. Maria had a question, right? My screen is like frozen here. I don't know why it's frozen here. Is the screen still blurry? Hmm. So, Maria had a question, right? Not blurry for me. It was blurry for a little while. Why am I not able to go back? Maria, can you please restate your question? So you want to, I think if I remember right, Maria, you wanted a message from Spirit. Message from Spirit. From Spirit. Number 4. Okay. All right, let's clear the air here. I do remember she said that. Maria has a question. She wants to know what the angels want her to know. What are the angels are speaking? What is her spirit speaking? What is her spirit speaking? Maria seeks this truth. She wants to know the truth. Okay. We're going to do another page number here. 3, 3, 6, 3, 6, 8, 3, 6, 8, and that is 14, 15, 16, 17. I see that as contemplation. So manifestation of a new, sort of a new spiritual energy, of a new spirit. So a new spirit coming into your life. Maybe that would be a contemplative thing that you do, really to spend time in the quiet. A new soul, a new spirit. That will materialize into your life sometime in the future, maybe even now. Opening up your ears to hear, maybe you see this right now. Three, 6, 8. We passed right back, blue passed right past it. 3, 6, 8. The earth is full of the goodness of God. The word of the Lord, the heavens were made by the breath of his mouth, all their host. He gathers the waters of the sea as in a flask. Cellars he confines the deep. Happy the nation whose God is the Lord, the people he has chosen for his own inheritance. From heaven, Lord looks down, sees all mankind. Soul waits for God. Okay, beloved, let's see. Help us now to perceive a more wonderful new creation. Beauty, wonder, to see in beauty, to see beauty in the created order, to perceive beauty. In that perception of beauty, the perception of beauty is a new creation. So this manifestation of a new spirit, a new creation, is found through perceiving beauty in your world. So Spirit is asking you to open your eyes to see what is already around you, to hear what exists in your world. Open your eyes to see, and you will see a new creation unfolding in your life. Okay? I am going to go into this deck here. Message from Mother Mary, Maria, which is, so it's a message from Mary, a message from Maria. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Maria. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Maria, now and all throughout eternity. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Maria. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Maria, now and all throughout eternity. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, pray for Maria, now and all throughout eternity. This is the card for you. It's Our Lady of Becoming. You may be uncertain about your future. You do not have to become anxious about how to make things happen, nor do you need to know all the details of what shall be. You needn't be in control of the mystery to benefit from it. Surrender your concerns to Mother Mary's care and take a step, any step forward that feels right for you. So it's that sense of opening your eyes to perceive something new, to see a new creation that will be unfolding to you. And this is your image from Mother Mary. She's asking you to open your eyes to see all these wondrous flowers around you, the beauty of the world, the beauty of creation unfolding in front of you. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully that made sense to you. I don't know. So I think it was Glenn next, and then Mama Sushi. But let's just listen here. This is 440 hertz. The musical note A. Okay. Thank you. I hope that helped. All right, let's clear the air. It is Glenn's turn, so Glenn has wanted a general reading. Glenn has a question. Mary Mother. Glenn has asked to look back at the first 4 months of this year. He wishes to understand what happened. What is it that he was not able to see for the first 4 months of this year? January, February, March, April. We're seeking to look into yesterday, to have an understanding of yesterday. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Glenn. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Glenn now and all throughout his journey. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Glenn. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Glenn now and all throughout his journey. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Glenn. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for Glenn now and all throughout his journey. So we're seeking to know about, so we have Glenn, January through April 2025. So what was the spirit of the first 4 months of this year? What was the spirit of the first 4 months of this year? Oh. Oh, the last 4. Okay. Let us, sorry about that. The last 4 months of this year. All right. Correction. Glenn wants to know about the last 4 months of this year. What is the spirit of the last 4 months of this year? Okay. I'm going to mix the cards up a bit. Okay, Glenn, I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. Okay, well, that card popped out. A bunch of other cards popped out too. All right. Looks like the cards popped out. 5 cards. I'm going to arrange it this way. What you have coming up is poor choices. With the Lover's card in reverse, you're looking at not acting in a sense of balance. So making poor decisions. Not really accepting responsibility for your actions. And you have like love out of balance. It's saying that your love relationship with yourself and with spirit and with others is out of balance. Now, what that it's saying is that what's going on here is because a lot of that is because you are easily bored, or you're looking on the surface things. You're not really looking too deep at an object, and you're being continually distracted by shiny new objects. Being in a state of distraction, you're easily bored. You're not looking too deep into whatever it is that you're looking at. But Spirit is asking you to accept whatever losses there are. Choose your battles wisely and then move on. Move on to a state of awakening. So your Spirit is asking you to leave all this stuff behind so that you can pop out of the grave, pop up out of your graves, leaving behind the poor decisions, the being easily distracted, the easily being bored. Leave those things behind so that you can come into a new place within yourself and have balance, have better judgment, have more patience. That's what I see here from the tarot. But let's just take a look at the numbers here. I'm going to make this into 2 different groupings here. For you're looking at 6 and 5 is 11. 11 and 7 is 18. 28, 29, 30, 31. So you're struggling with a lack of foundations, but you need to gain some foundations. So, and establish You need what they're asking you to do is to you're examining your life and examining what the foundations of your life is. What are the things that you have built your reality on? Your what you have built your reality on. You need to examine what you are building your reality on in order to rebuild your foundations, to have a foundation where you are not making poor choices, where you're not just getting bored and looking at the surface or just looking at that shiny new object. They're warning you. The warning here is you need to not be distracted, not have a short attention span, not craving attention from unhealthy sources. Rebuild your boundaries. Rebuild your foundation. Move on from these easy energies to try to develop a more to more to develop more depth in your personality so that you can come into a state of balance with infinite possibilities. So to rebalance yourself and be reborn anew into a new state so you can start a new journey. Okay? All right. All right, Glenn. Thank you. And Mama Sushi's there talking about boobs. Mama Sushi is next, I believe. Was that a general reading, Mama Sushi? Let's go back. Hmm. Yeah, I know. I know that you're having an emotional breakdown. So I guess, Mama Sushi, we're looking at how do you're in yeah, because you've talked about this on some of your community posts. Hmm. I see. Okay. Welcome, original challenges. So I'm gonna go here to Mama Sushi and we're looking at well RMV. I want a free ticket. I spent $9 on lottery tickets yesterday, and I got a free ticket. So Mama Sushi. Hmm. No big money on the scratchers. Yeah. So RMV, do you on your channel do you do lottery tickets on your channel? Is that what you is that what you do? Is that what you do? Because while we're in the, I wonder if I can access that your channel here. Okay. So you're not. I'm just kind of pausing just here for a second and asking RMV because I went to your channel and you don't post any videos there. Maybe if you are doing like buying all scratchers and stuff like that, maybe you should uh start a either a YouTube or a TikTok channel or something like that where you are doing live scratching sessions. I know there's a lot of those channels out there, but maybe that's something you should do. Anyways, we're going over to Mama Sushi right now, and I'm still trying to formulate her question. And the channel name is Tools of Fortune, original challenges. And so Mama Sushi wants to know about finances. Will will she and her family be able to move in 2027? So we're looking at a yes no. We're going to do a yes no, and we'll look at the energy around this. Um, Stable finances. Will her family have stable finances? Will her stabilize or remain stable? I do have some ideas for you, Mama Sushi, and they were because I did kind of sense from your posts last night and things. I have some ideas for you. But we'll do I'm going to do a 3-card yes, no. But as you know, this is based upon the energies of right now, right here and now, and not based upon the energies of tomorrow, because tomorrow is a brand new day. So Mama Sushi's asking the question is, will her family be able to move in 2027? Will they be able to get their own place and not have to be living in the situation where they're living? Will Mama Sushi finally, will they get her own place? Will they be able to get their own place? A place to raise their children in peace. Will they be able to move in 2027? Let's just move these cards here and these cards here. Doing one last shuffle here. Mama Sushi, I'm asking you, I want you to tell me when to stop shuffling. For your first question, tell me when to stop shuffling. Tell me when to stop shuffling. Okay. This is a hard no. And it may just be this is a hard no, but based on today, because if you want to look at there is a storm coming in our nation through no fault of your own. When that money starts coming out of our economy from the big beautiful bill, when they start pulling the food stamp money out, when they start pulling the Medicaid money out, when they start pulling that money back, and then when these new tariffs hit, it will destabilize the economy even more than it is. And in ways that we just don't have the faintest clue on what that's going to do. So for right now, it may not be something that will happen. There's a lot of upside down cards here. But let's go and try. I see. You can't live beyond 2027, but that doesn't mean that something else may not. Your situation, which is intolerable now, it doesn't mean that it will always be intolerable. 8, 9, and 19, 19, 10, So we're looking at 8 plus 1 plus 19. And what is really what the spirit that's going on in this 10, 20, 9, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 2 plus 8. So it's 28, 2 plus 8 is 10. So it's like a new beginning. It's the energy here new in the numbers is that your new beginning is blocked. And it's blocked because of a lack of foundation. The foundation is also because the foundation isn't there. So just looking at these numbers, the foundation is not present, or it's on shaky ground. So the finances is on shaky grounds. That's what this is telling me. And so the question is about your family finances. 8 people in one house. Yeah. Okay. Let's just ask about stable finances. But looking out 2 years is a long time, Mama Sushi. A lot of things can happen in 2 years. You know, a lot of things can happen. Let's ask that other question about the family finances. And you do know, Mama Sushi, that you make some changes. You make some changes and things change. And it can change the whole system. The whole thing can change. You know, your husband gets another job. And something like that, and that will nullify this whole thing. So it's working on those financial foundations in order to turn this into a new deal, a new thing. Maybe we need to ask the question this way. It's different. Will our economy I don't want to ask that question because I don't want to know. I don't want to know if our economy is going to collapse. I like I like look at that kind of stuff. I look at that stuff, but I kind of I like am like an ostrich sometimes, and I'm burying my head in the sand when it comes to a collapse in the economy. And do I want to live through another? Yeah, I lived through a collapse in economy a couple different times. 1980s there was a collapse in the economy, and then there was one in 2000 nine 8, the housing crash. I mean, I was the business I was working for collapsed 2 years into that thing. I guess what the spirit is telling you is you need to be prepared for the fact that you may be staying where you're at. But let's ask a question differently. Let's ask it rather than trying to project out. Maybe let's ask the question. And I'm sure that the answer to this question is yes. Will you ever have your own space? Have Well, you know what? I don't want to ask that question either, Mama Sushi. I just don't. Because I have faith that you and your family will have your own space eventually. I believe this. I believe that you will not be forever chained in this environment where you are in not a multi-generational household, but you are in a generational household and doing community living in a small place. But I believe I believe that you will be free of this eventually. Yeah. Let's go do I'm going to I have a suggestion for you, Mama Sushi. I'm just going to tell you, well, my suggestion for you. You have all this stuff going on right now. So here you would, and you would title your video, I've had it. These people are driving me nuts. That this is your title. I've had it. And there are, I was watching some guy whose channel went viral. This is some guy who lives out of a storage unit. Lives in a storage unit. And for some reason his channel blew out. There is the AI and all that stuff that's going into YouTube is driving people because there's a lot of people like me. I don't like AI content. I don't like, it's those the regular voices and all of that, and the and people. The trends are, I think, is that people are going to be wanting things that are more real raw emotion, and you have a lot of real raw emotion, especially being pregnant as you are, and with those hormonal balances and everything that may or may not be in balance, and you may be, what I'm saying. I don't want to talk too openly about this, but I do have some ideas for you, and I think that you can use what you have. You can use what you have right now. I've had it. And that's how you feel. I've had it. And you lean into that and journal about it. And see, it's lean into that spirit. And see if you can. It may not, I don't know. I mean, it may not work, but it might work. It just might. I've seen, people, you know, when we talk about content and, like the 999 show, the content on that's fluid, and doing the art all the time sometimes gets tiring, and I get tired of doing that. I opened up this channel because I wanted to do this kind of content. And I felt called to do this content. But I also feel called to do other stuff too, which is why I have two channels. And the channel at 999 show is not always going to be what I do there. Okay, that's all I got for you. I'll send you an email with some of my ideas. Actually, anyways, I'll send you an email about some of my ideas for you. And just please just know that I'm thinking about your best interest. I have your best interest at heart. That's what I'm thinking about. But I do think that I don't know. I don't know if I don't know what causes some channels to blow out and some just to stay put. I have no special insight on that, but it's just like RMV playing the lottery. I play the lottery. I play the lottery religiously. Religiously play the lottery. Right now, it's just the Oregon lottery. It's at 8.1 million. I did win a free ticket yesterday, but I play my own numbers. I play random numbers. And I've been playing the lottery religiously since 2004. Since 2004. There was a time when I was super broke in 2011 when I wasn't playing. But I play it religiously. It's like my religion is that I play the damn lottery. Wishful thinking. I don't think that live journaling would be weird, but I can tell the story about why I play the lottery, and it started when I was up in Seattle. I remember the day very plain, very plain. I remember the day of when I started playing the lottery, and I was standing on well, it was in one of those. It was like on Union Street in Madison Street, and there was 12th Avenue. There were all these three intersecting streets, and I was on like a little island, a little triangular island. There were streets going this way and that way, and I was standing on, and this bus comes up the hill, and it's one of the rabbit ear buses, you know, that sucks the power out off power lines. Well, it went badly around a corner, and it ripped the power cables out of their sockets. And these power lines came crashing down, and they almost hit me. I almost got hit by these power lines that came crashing down to the ground. And I felt blessed that I was spared. If I was just over 1 foot, I would have been hit by these damn power lines. And those power lines aren't exactly lightweight things. Those are like, heavyweight. Now, whether there's still any electricity in it when they came down, I don't know. But these power lines came crashing down, and I survived. And in that moment, I thought, oh my God, this is almost like getting struck by lightning. And the chances of winning the lottery are the same as the chances of getting struck by lightning. And what's the chances that I would be like almost struck by electricity? I survived a 220 volt electric shock when I was 19 years old on the job. But the second time, that's when I started playing the lottery every day religiously, was after that event of almost getting killed by those power lines that were pulled out of the sky by a bus going around a corner. So that's that. Now, I don't know if original intent is still here. If original, I think I have time for one more. Is original challenges still here? Or do we move on to RMV? All right. Let's go to RMV, and then if original, and because that's like because he's like near and dear my heart with all that lottery things, and so we're gonna clear out the air here. Mary Guadalupe. If it be the will of spirit, if it be the will of spirit, will RMV win? Will RMV win on $10 scratchers? I know he's asking for a big win, but will he just win? Will he win on a $10 scratchers? Okay, 3 card, yes, no. I want to make sure these cards are not all upside down, and so not get a false reading here. going to do the fortunes on, we're going to be reading on RMV scratch tickets. Here's one card. Yes, no. Are they yes, no winners here? Three card yes, no's. So RMV, it looks like a no. They're not. They're probably not necessarily any winners here. But let's just do a different approach. That's cards. But let's go look at an odd even. Let's look at an odd even thing. And so odd number is no, even number is yes. So that's a no. It came up no twice. Two different methods, it came up no. Okay, big winner. Win big. All right. Will RMV win big? Well, that, if it's in alignment with here, it's a odd number, so that's a no, but we're going to try it again here. Oh, someday it's a yes. Someday you're going to win big. Let's just try another one. 2 out of 3, huh? That's another yes. 2 out of 3. So 2 out of 3 yes. Eventually, you are going to win big. Now, you're going to win big now. Will you win big now? No, you're not going to win big now, but eventually you're going to win big. I'm going to go ask the tarot. 3 card, yes, no. Will RMV win big? Eventually? Okay. Will RMV win more than $1,000? Will RMV win more than $1,000? Look, 3 cards popped out. Well, according to this, that's a yes. It's a soft yes. So eventually, you will win more than $1,000. Okay, Mama Sushi. We'll see later. I gotta go make dinner. A soft yes. Well, all right. So you got a soft yes the last time too. So that's kind of consistent then. All right, I need to go make dinner before I get into trouble. It's 5:43 p.m. And go take another little walk before the rains come. Go maybe take my little doggy for a walk. Go motivate my mother who's tired. Motivate her to go take a walk too. I'll be back on. I know tomorrow. Definitely Friday night. I'm gonna be back on after late. I'll be back late Friday night. Yeah, I hope that I win too. Oh, I did win a free ticket. Hey, let's try some. Let's try some. That's right. I remember you're from the California lottery. I did run California lottery numbers the last time, didn't I? Huh. Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you for your support. I got some videos I want to edit together because I got a new deck. I got actually a new deck that I'm eventually going to be pulling into doing divination on. The video, I'm going to edit the video up on that one, maybe tonight or tomorrow. But first I'm going to edit the video from my time at Boiler Bay yesterday, and that'll go out on 999 show. And that's actually some pretty clear video. I'm going to do that this evening. I think I might actually do some. Yeah, I'm not. These cards I bought specifically for. Yeah, it's big wins for both of us. I like to win that $8.1 million. You know, get out of debt and everything. Get myself an Airstream and a vehicle to pull it. One of nice shiny Airstreams. Either a new one or a remodeled one. And, you know, get some good internet hosts, you know, someplace, and then I can go be a camp host, you know, retire as a camp host, because that's really what I would love to do for the future, is to spend my summer months living in campgrounds on the Oregon coast or the West Coast for that matter. You know, cleaning toilets and showers and cleaning yurts and stuff, and in exchange for free hookups for my Airstream and electricity and internet, and then occasionally being able to go down and spend time looking at the sea, looking at the ocean. Maybe do that every day. That's what I dream about. Those are my dreams. Living in an Airstream 3 months out of the year, down at the ocean, down at the beach. Anyways, thank you guys very much. And I'll be back again soon with another reading for all of us. Hang on to your money if you got it. Actually, I'm seeing this as spend your money. Spend your money. Spend a little money, not too much, but spend. You got to spend a little money to win big, right? All right. Thank you, guys. This Tools of Fortune, and I will be back later. Bye-bye.